Greetings, beings. Jacob Martinez here from artoflove.me, Crystal Haiku Guy. Here again to bring you some mid-monthly oracle readings and energy readings. I just started this channel, and so this is actually my first month doing readings for you guys this way, so I hope you like them. Few quick announcements. This is a mature audiences only channel, so M for mature. Whatever that means where you live that you are viewing this right now. If you don't happen to be of legal age, I'm going to have to ask you to please turn back around and go back to where you came from, because the material that I share here is not going to be edited for the younger individuals or people that are not prepared for mature messages, and I don't know how mature they might be, but even if they aren't, I tend to swear when I feel like it. So hope that's not a turn off. It's just how I express myself. But regardless, one way or the other, this channel is for mature audiences only. So, another thing, I would encourage you to take a look at your sun, moon, and rising, all because you'll probably get a better picture of what's going on for your month that way. I know that when I'm checking out other readers, I always get more insight when I look at all three of those myself. So I would recommend the same for you here too. These are free readings. They're general readings. So I'm doing my best to get the messages that Spirit shows to me, and have asked that at least one will be relevant to each viewer here. So I'm doing my best, and if something doesn't resonate, I apologize. Check out the sun, moon, and rising, or maybe you need a personal reading, which unfortunately I'm not able to do right now, but there are tons of great readers here. And if you haven't tried anybody or have somebody to connect with, feel free to drop me a line for either a recommendation or a prayer request, because I do have time for that, and that is something that I am doing at the moment. So, in addition to that, I also don't pay special attention to like prescribing a gender for anything, because I think that's it's just such an insult to our intelligence in this day and age. We all embody a bit of both, don't we? So I'll do my best to read the energies or interpret what I see on cards, if that's relevant. And sometimes it'll especially hint towards masculine versus feminine polarity or vice versa. And I might speak to that end, but he, she, they, other, whatever pronoun works best for you, please take what applies only. I think that's it for right now. So I will just tell you a little bit about the format. I'm sticking to what I started this month, which is essentially 5 cards to cover different aspects. In this particular video, I am going to be covering the energy of the water element. And so there will be 3 chapters, timestamp below. If you want to toggle or jump ahead, feel free to do so. I will be covering Scorpio, Pisces, and then Cancer. Good for sun, moon, and rising. And I do an overall archetypal energy that kind of acts as the baseline or the rhythm of your month. And those tend to work on a current, like all energy does. So there might be polarizing aspects to how that energy plays out in our life. And I always find it's helpful to kind of at least understand what the theme is, because it gives me a better sense of what's going on around me when things maybe are a little unclear. It's good to understand the context. And these are Caroline Miss's archetype cards, and they pay special attention to light and shadow attributes, which we'll be highlighting for each of the sides. That's the first part. For the physical material realm, I have pulled a card for each of you from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. This is a pretty standard deck, some of you are probably familiar with. It's probably one of the most circulated decks. So, with that insight, we'll be taking a look into anything that might be occurring in the physical material realm of your world. Water signs, that could be anything to do with your body, your health. It could have to do with your home, career, just anything that you're meeting from the physical standpoint of life. We'll also be taking a peek into your mental sector, and with those, I like to use John Holland's Psychic Oracle deck. And these are a really cool take on the traditional tarot. They also offer some insight into chakras at times. So we'll be looking at how you're addressing your life from a mental sector using that. And then we'll take a look at the romantic personal side of things, which I'm using Doreen Virtue's Romance Angel Oracle cards. And these, well, that one looks especially romantic, perhaps, in that picture. But they're not all romantic. It's more about just things of an emotional nature and how that could play out, depending on your reading. And I always like to wrap them up with some Archangel guidance, and we'll be using Archangel Michael's Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, and those include a prayer guided by Archangel Michael that I will deliver to you. I will tell you, I have already shuffled. I found that it worked better this way for me. So, if you are somebody that likes to watch someone shuffle, maybe I won't be your guy, because I think I'm probably going to keep doing them this way. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into Scorpio. Scorpio. Let's flip these cards and see what you got going on here. Well, Scorpio, I just heard time of truth. Time of truth. It's time for truth, Scorpio. And I think you might be struggling with something very deep and essential, because your archetypal energy card, and this is basically what's just going to show us what the prevailing underlying theme for your second half of the month here is showing us the energy of addict. Sorry for the glare there. Can you see that? Let me read what it says to you. On the light attributes of addict is that it's going to help you recognize and confront addictive behavior. That's the sunny side of it. And on the more challenging side, the shadow attributes state compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. I will say that's pretty concerning, right? So this might be you dealing with addictive tendencies over the second part of this month, or perhaps you're dealing with other people that are mirroring this to you, perhaps giving you a glimpse of your own shadow that you might be confronted with a bit over this retrograde season that seems to have a lot of people contemplative. So what I'm seeing here is, the idea of pushing back, and this can be a slippery slope depending on how you approach it, Scorpio. I'll show you the picture. All right. This cat. I'm just going to go with a he pronoun here, but that can be a they, a she, or any other person's preferred pronoun or gender. This individual is about to be encompassed with something that looks like, it kind of looks like peacock feathers there, so maybe that might have something to do with an addictive personality towards things that might be beautiful, but also perhaps emotional. Could be drugs, alcohol. There's a lot of liquid here. It could be somebody that has a drinking challenge. But this person looks like they could be overcome by this. See that whooshing over their head, and it's under their foot right there. And I'm kind of feeling like the first thing that's jumping is somebody that's acting like it doesn't exist. but kind of looks like some fucking bullshit to me, Scorpio, because push as you will, that water's over your head. You're going down if you're in denial here. The light is behind you. You need to turn around and walk the other way, dude. If that's you. If you have an addictive personality that you're not admitting. So the thing is, if that's the addiction and you're actually pushing it away, okay, that's a constructive way to push back. But maybe that's more effort and misdirected energy when all you got to do is turn around. Even if you can't stop yourself from pushing yet, turn your head. Look and see the light and the safe, dry ground that is not a part of whatever this undertow is that wants to pull you. Addictions are tricky, my friend. I'm actually going to pray on this one. We're going to include this in the prayer. For you that are dealing with addiction, whether it's yours or someone close to you, I encourage you to get help if this is you. If you're in a situation that is causing a compromise to your own personal safety, security, or integrity due to some sort of addict in your life, there's help. And I definitely recommend accessing that help in whatever way best suits the situation. And you know what that is. Because regardless of what you're going through right now, Scorpio, one thing I know about you is that you have a good sense of what's going on. Sometimes to the point that it pains you deeply inside. And maybe that's why some people become addictive to different things. I know sometimes people like to medicate because the extent to which they're feeling their emotions might be more than they've learned to cope with in other ways, so they reach for something that helps them forget. But that doesn't look like a good situation. I don't like it for you, Scorpio. I think you're worth too much to let something pull you under like that. Even if it's something or someone you love. Sometimes the higher thing to do is the most difficult, and sometimes it's walking away. Or admitting first. Yeah, we'll go with that first. Admitting whatever the challenge is. And that's really what this card is recommending to us as we are experiencing how this addict energy may be playing out over the next couple weeks here until we hit June. The light attribute here, right on the card, I'll read it to you again, states, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. I'm a little concerned, though. I'll be honest with you. I like to be a sunny side up guy because, you gotta look for your silver linings and the things to help you deconstruct a situation if it's not one that you like, so that you can get yourself to the next place that what was hidden from you that caused the pain or suffering or whatever it was has shone into your life. That's the light. And I'm just going to pick up your physical material world card, which I pulled from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. You got a major set card here called the Hanged Man. It's number 12. which reduces to a 3. And the man hangs from a tree. And he learned something. I think he might know, or she or they might know, that they're dealing with an addictive situation. Perhaps their own addictive personality being demonstrated to them through the works of others. Life is funny like that. A real fucking hoot. It's serious. I think they know what's going on. But this person is in somewhat of a compromised situation with regard to dealing with things. They seem to be kind of hung up on something or someone. Maybe that's how they got into this crazy situation, and now they are tethered to some kind of fucking bullshit that they don't want to be stuck to. But instead of taking their arms out from behind their back and acting like their hands are tied, like their foot is, one foot, they're just laying there. Maybe they're drunk or high on something. I just kind of surrendered to it. That's not a great state to be in a physical sense. You know, I mean, the sunny side that I'm seeing here seems like somebody knows what's going on. But there seems to be an unwillingness to do a blessed thing about it. Suspended in time. What are you hanging on to that you didn't want to deal with and started hiding from yourself in convenient ways that has you stuck to some bullshit that now you think a lot about but seem to do nothing about? Why are you stuck? I think you know. Because, I'll take a sip first. John Holland Oracle deck, Psychic Oracle deck rather, for the mental aspects. You got the crown chakra here. Scorpio, you know what's up, man. You know what's going on. Spirit is saying that there's a light coming to you from above, hitting you in your crown chakra. That's why your head's all lit up here, I think. Because the light is there. But you don't want to do nothing about it. And if you do want to do something about it, you can. Your hands aren't tied. You just got them behind your back. You got one leg free there. And if you've got good obliques like me, you practice your yoga, you might be able to crunch your way up, untie, and shimmy down that tree. And you already know it. You already know what to do to untether yourself from El Bullshito. What are you addicted to? What's keeping you from doing it? I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead because I don't like what I see. Love, romance, personal life. I use Doreen Virtue's Angel Oracle deck, Romance Angel deck, and I got this little gem that says Deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship, Scorpio. Is that you? Is that someone you know? Are you lying to yourself about an addiction that you don't want to admit? You are pushing away and acting like it doesn't exist, but that it's got you in a situation where you feel stuck in tethered to some BS, something unfulfilling that you don't care enough to do anything about. What the heck, man? You know what's going on. You know the truth. You're operating from the crown chakra. I think you need to clear it, guys. If you've been medicating, maybe it's a little foggy. But that's really, it's a poor excuse to make decisions based on lies, especially when it has you suspended in time. There's no forward motion here. This is not a win situation in this context. I like the Hanging Man in some contexts, not this one. You can do better than this in your physical world. This is somebody that's just kind of giving up, rolling over. They're stuck in the bullshit. They aren't doing anything, even though they know somebody's full of shit. Are you full of shit, Scorpio? Or is that somebody you know? Do you have a bullshitter in your life? Or somebody that's addictions are screwing things up? I don't like it. Y'all need to really pay close attention to what you're doing and what effects the nature of this addiction is having over your life. This could ruin somebody's life. Addiction? I mean, I'm sorry, I can't be positive about this too much other than if this is a wake-up call to snap you out of some bullshit and get some help. Get out of the tree. You are not suspended in time. You can take yourself out of this, and you know exactly what to do. Stop lying to yourself. And if somebody's lying to you and you know it, which I think you do, even if you feel like it's a fucked up situation and you can't get out of it or do anything about it, you can. And it's not going to be easy, darling. Addiction wasn't here to be easy. Nothing was. And maybe that's not fair. But you know what? The last time I looked the word fair up in the dictionary, I didn't get the kind of justice I was looking for either. It said something about good weather. You want to know what? It's storming outside my window right now. And I'm guessing it's storming outside yours too in some kind of way, Scorpio. Let this be a wake-up call. Get out of the freaking mask. Don't lie to yourself. It's not worth it. And no thing or relationship that you might be stuck to is worth that. I'm just going to jump into your prayer because we need to pray, guys. Archangel Michael has a message for you. Admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Admit the truth to yourself. And then act accordingly. I pray for you. I appreciate your support and helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. You guys, I'm going to be praying some more amen after this, because I have some Scorpio in my chart, and also Scorpio people. I have a lot of close people to me that are Scorpio Ascendant, and this is kind of hitting me in a funny bone. You guys are going to be okay, but you have to come to a point of clarity within yourself. You're worth a lot more than being compromised by some shadow bullshit that's trying to pull you under. Admit it. Whatever it is. And if you need help, get help. If you need a prayer, I'm a guy who prays. My email address is there. You can hit me up and I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to be praying for you after this reading too, Scorpio. Be keeping my eye on this. I don't like it. But I know you have the power, and I think the most important thing right now is admit the truth that you already know. Your higher consciousness is well aware of the situation. And that's a point that's being emphasized here. With all of the light that keeps showing up around your head. Don't cover that up from yourself. That would be a shame now. So that's what I got for you now, Scorpio. I'm sorry if it wasn't all sunny side up. But sometimes we need to hear the truth. And somebody needs to be willing to tell us things that maybe we don't necessarily want to hear. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to relay messages that the archangels, your guides and mine, deemed relevant. So with that, guys, girls, and others, I'm praying for you. Hit me up if you want a personal prayer. And I hope that the rest of the month shapes up, because I think you've got an opportunity to take control of the situation. And I'm going to be following this some more with the June readings. So if this was helpful for you, or if you think it would be helpful for somebody else, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned, because I'll be doing more free readings. We're going to move on to Pisces now. Hey Pisces, what's shaking? Take a look at your second half of the month of May 2016 through the end of the month. All right, Pisces. So we're going to start with the overall, let's call it the challenge energy of the month. I've been using the Carolinus archetype cards to demonstrate the light and shadow attributes of the undercurrent of energy, demonstrating itself to you and through you throughout the rest of the month. You got the card of Messiah. That's pretty cool. Aquarius got God. And y'all are side by side here, so yeah, you might be interested in that. Maybe you have some Aquarius in your chart, or, these things can kind of overlap, but yeah, it seems pretty relevant there. Messiah, that's pretty good. That's some deep stuff there, Pisces. Let's see what it says. On the sunny side up, serving humanity with humility. And on the shadow side, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So, well, that's a pretty polarizing look. And again, like what Aquarius got, I think, Messiah and God, these are some of the deeper, probably, polarities, as deep and wide as, light and shadow can be to one another with regard to what's being demonstrated in our lives. So, this is really cool, too, because Messiah, I don't know what that evokes to you personally, but when I hear the word Messiah, I mean, it's got some cachet to it, right? I mean, this is the one who saves, right? It's the one who saves. But save yourself, Pisces, because the best example you can be as a Messiah is she, he, they, who has embodied that in and within themselves and serves from, an open point versus, taking on some kind of egoic mindset that like you're the only one that can help anybody. So even though, maybe you can, and you have, and you are, and you've done amazing things for yourself and maybe people around you, it would be a mistake, is what the card's saying, to just, kind of check out on the reality of the fact that, we all have this within us. We all have Messiah within us. And, you don't need to job yourself on other people as, the only one, or try to make it or twist it to where, you feel or are foisting on others any sort of false belief that you're the only one, that you're the only way. That sounds like some religions I've heard of. And gotta call bullshit on that. Seriously. That's not good, right? Nobody likes that. And that's really not the way. The way is different for everyone. We might have some overlap in things that we can share in our experiences with one another that might even be really similar or almost identical. But our unique way as individuals, that's a personal path. And, just because you have taken the time to go within and to discover what that is for you, and that it has served you well, and that it could serve humanity, it's just not a time to sort of stranglehold people into trying to get them, in like an outward way to come to your conclusions, right? So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and look at your physical material aspects here. We used the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. You pulled the Three of Wands there, Pisces, as your physical card for the energies coming up for the second half of May. And I like this card. I mean, it's a pretty good card. It's an action card. It really is. Wands show us a lot of where our drive originates from, and drive can be different things. This can be, creative intellects, artistic ventures, new projects, things of a more passionate or romantic or sexual nature even. But, the wands are the things that we've done or are doing or planning to do, actions that we wish to take. And this guy, or gal, or they, whoever they are, maybe somebody jumps into your mind. Is that you? Is that someone else? Pisces? That person there, that person's done some work. And they've made some decisions about how they chose to direct their energy and what projects or things to sow their efforts into. And this person, standing there waiting on a return, waiting on an ROI of some kind, the way I read this particular deck and this card, typically, this guy's like a merchant, he's a businessman, artisan, something. He's selling his goods. And he sent his ships out in a particular direction, and he's waiting for the ships to come in with whatever they're bringing him. So this person here, Pisces, perhaps you, is feeling into his material world and trying to figure out when and where this thing that he or she or they have invested into is going to start to show up in a physical sense, you know? And they're standing in good faith right now. They got some things going on in their mind. I'll tell you, this individual here, go ahead and pull up your mind card. I used the John Holland's Psychic Oracle deck. Y'all got a major card in your mental sector. Excuse the glare. That says solitude. That is the number 9. That person there is feeling kind of introspective, let's say. And maybe a little solitary. You know, they've got someone or thing on their mind. Maybe their guiding star, if you will. And they're looking inside. This card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, like if I pulled it out of this deck, it's called the Hermit. And just a different take on the Hermit here. In the traditional deck, it's an older person. I'll say a gentleman. I'll call this one a lady. Just for ease and simplicity. Make it who you wish. But that Hermit individual is, he's carrying a light, and he's in the dark, and he doesn't look like he moves too fast. He's kind of taking a time out. Good idea for the Mercury retrograde, probably. A lot of people have been getting those going withins right now. But she's doing the same thing. She's just got a little different take on it. She's reading. I don't know. Maybe she's a little psychic. That could be you for sure, Pisces. You know, I think you might be pretty psychic, even if you don't realize it. Maybe you read your own tarot cards. Maybe you're looking for insight into a situation. You know, you're embodying a Messiah energy, so I think you got to be working with some good juice. And anyway, this person, alone, and I'm noticing this person, in the physical realm, alone. Right? Waiting on something. Something you put yourself into. Something you've been thinking a lot about and trying to get down to the bottom of. You're wondering when it's going to show up. And if you're going to get an ROI on it. I think it's possible there, Pisces, you know. I feel like it might be romantic. And for some of y'all, just because that's what jumped when I was looking at your Romance Angel Oracle card by Doreen Virtue for your personal romantic life. And the card that you've gotten here today is called Getting to Know Each Other. And it says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So, I don't know. I mean, the easy message that just jumped to me at first was just that, you know, maybe that's like what you're waiting on. You know, you've been trying to get to know somebody, and maybe it's going kind of slow. Maybe going kind of slow. You guys aren't really kind of clicking. You know, nobody's really like together in a physical sense or anything, and there might be some separation, you know. I don't know, maybe somebody's still holding on to something in the past, perhaps. And that might be an obstruction as to what's coming forward, but go within. And I believe this card is just saying, take the time to get to know each other, if that's the case. And it doesn't have to be, you know, romantic. This could even have something to do with business here. Like, you know, I mean, this guy is a merchant, right? Maybe he started a new business and he's just waiting to see the ROI. Where's the return on the investment here? He's waiting for it. Make sure you know your business. You might have a business partner, too. I mean, this can show up different ways. I know I pulled this for romance sector, but these things, these are sways of energy, and we might try to tuck them into neat little packages, but let me caution you against believing the falsehood that anything fits into a perfect little box, because nothing like that exists in life, darling. It's all fiction. So make sure, whatever it is, especially if you're waiting for something to come back, maybe something that you've put good effort into, it's starting to progress. You're not quite there yet. There's more that you need to know. There might be something you don't know yet. So there's more reason for me to just recommend, here with the solitude or hermit card to, just take the time to go within and really be patient about that process. If it's something that's worth doing, you're going to take the time to do it, right? And if it's something that's meant for you too, which I think it is, I think you've got some kind of return coming, even if it doesn't look the way you expected it to. The situation is improving because information is coming forward. Okay? So with that said, just in case you get a little niggling of shadow attributes, wanting you to kind of foist a situation or encourage it only in one way specific to you with your own dogmas and insecurities, remember that that's not the highest way that you can be serving humanity. Right? With humility. It doesn't always look the way we want it to. Sometimes it comes back better than we expected, but we gotta release it a little bit. Okay, so I'm hearing that. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into your Archangel Michael card. It's got some great advice for you, Pisces. I love this deck. It's actionable. I find that it always connects really nicely and gives us some greater insight. I love the prayer. So this month, this is a great thing to do during the retrograde, especially if you might be feeling lonely, waiting for ships to show up that haven't come yet, while you're trying to get a better handle on the situation and control how you act about it. And Archangel Michael is saying, write about your thoughts and feelings. Write about it. It's a great idea, right? And I love it. This particular image right now for me, and I don't know if these are intended to be separate people. I just kind of go off of what my impression is sometimes, because it ends up being a more honest way for me to hear what the guides are saying. And I'm just seeing, see that person within a person? For me right now, that's one and the same. This is the earth version of the person that showed up here in the body. And they're connecting to their higher mind and spirit. It's like they're invoking themselves, invoking their higher mind, just by the simple process of writing out their thoughts and feelings. And, that's actually a very key element to, I believe, dealing with this shadow attribute stuff. Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. If that's really how you're feeling, well, there's place and room for that to exist. Clearly, that has some sort of power in your world. But rather than succumbing to, say, pushing that onto others, and externalizing that into the situation, you can write about it. There's something to discover in this. Perhaps you're writing a book. and you did not even realize that it was writing you. So, could be a month of you getting to know your own self, Pisces. You know, I'm saying getting to know each other, but maybe you have felt disembodied from your own higher self in some way. There might be a key opportunity in this month of solitude in your higher mind to engage and to call that forth into your reality now. I'm going to release my faith for that for you, because that sounds like some good hot diggity dog. We're going to say a prayer, Pisces. This is for you. Thank you for helping me tap into my God-given creativity and wisdom so I clearly express myself and glean insight, blessing, and healing. Amen. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you right now. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, I'd love your thumbs up. Maybe like, share, subscribe. Not doing personals right now due to time constraints, but if you need a prayer, hit me up. My email's down there. And if not, God bless you and keep you, and I hope the rest of this month is good for you. I'll see you again in June. All right. So, got one more water sign now. That's Cancer. Hey, Cancer, what's shaking? Gonna look at your cards. Okay. Interesting. Whoa. So, Cancer. You know, I think, was it Sagittarius? I'm almost sure it was Sagittarius. In the May readings I did, I think about a week and a half ago. You know, maybe you have a Sagittarius in your life. Maybe you have strong Sag somewhere in your chart. Just guessing, because y'all got the same archetypal energy for the month. This is for the second half of the month for you. But Sag pulled this. It's the Gambler card. As basically the undercurrent of the month. This is sort of like the rhythm that we're strutting to throughout the month. And Cancer, this one says Gambler. So I'll just go ahead and read it to you so we can take a look at how the energy might be manifesting as you witness it in and within yourself for the second half of this month. But on the light side, it states willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And the shadow side is relying on luck rather than hard work. Pretty good. And I will just say, the way I'd pick this up with Sag was kind of like more like somebody might have like a gambling addiction. I'm not really picking that up here with you guys so much, as I am witnessing more of a call to action to be responsible about what it is you're doing there, Cancer. And we're just going to point out to this picture. Hopefully you can see it through the glare there. We got some kind of individual that I will call a snappy dresser who is crossing a tightrope. I've never been on one of these things. I've been on one of those like low flat ones, you know. I tried to get on it before, and that thing was really, the amount of balance that you need to have just to stand on a thing is, it's pretty impressive, I think. A little thing called proprioception. You need to have that dialed in to be able to even stand on the thing with 2 feet and your eyes wide open. And this person seems to have gotten really high up on something where they're on this tightrope, and they look like they're doing pretty good, actually. He's moving in faith here. He's being guided by something. And I'm saying it might be a woman. It might be someone else. So hopefully you can just appeal that to your sensibilities there, Cancer. But one thing that kind of wigs me out about this one, and I gotta say it wigs me out. I have a Cancer rising too, so I'm looking at this thinking, like, where am I obfuscating my own path by an unwillingness to look at something? What is that you have surrendered to chance with that white sash wrapped around your head? I don't know. Is it an unwillingness to look at something? Or is it just leaving too much to chance? Like, what is it that you're not looking at yet that your guiding stars are trying to show you so that you can stay as high up as you are and keep that balancing act going and impressing all that might be watching you in your brilliant attire there? But there's something you can't see. And what I'm getting here on this is that you really have to bear witness to how you're demonstrating yourself this month there, Cancer. It might be the right thing to leave certain things to guidance if that's what this is, but I think you don't have to do it in a way where you might sacrifice your own potential health, safety, well-being, and the ground that you've gained to do it. So there's a balance here that needs to happen, and I think it ties really well into your physical sector card. You know, we are using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck for that portion of your reading. You got the Ace of Swords. It's a cool card, actually. I like these swords. They signify a lot of things that I find to be valuable and where I personally focus some of my emphasis as a human being. That is what I like to call the Sword of Truth. This comes from somebody standing in their light, but it can come at a sharp price, let's say, because the sword cuts both ways, and so sometimes the truth, it can hurt you. It can be like a jab right in the soft guts, in your underbelly. It can be cutting. Something is being faced, or not, possibly, in your physical world right now. What is it? And are you taking an unnecessary chance with it somehow? I just heard go for the jugular. I don't know who that applies to. Hopefully don't do that with anything sharp, but with regard to truth, yeah, get all up in that if that's what you need to do, Cancer. Get all up in that truth. Don't be a divided and conquered mind that is unwilling to look at what's all around. The truth is there. I think that's what those shooting stars are. Okay. And this individual here can easily just take that bandana off, or that sash, and look around, gather that truth, continue your journey, stay out. Seems like something needs to happen, though. Because this is a sword card. Being a sword card, it's a mental energy in the physical world. What does that mean? Well, in this situation, I see the person coming in to demonstrate the thing that perhaps eliminates the gambling aspect to whatever it is you're trying to do. So the idea, the notion has been conceived, but now the action must be taken, because aces don't really take you that far sometimes. It's that, right? But something must be done. See, This is going for something. What is it that you are retrieving? What is it you're going after? You're being asked to balance. And I believe that you know this in your mind because using the John Holland Psychic Oracle deck, I actually pulled a major card for you, Cancer. I love this card, actually. Power. You're balancing your animal and your high self, your sage, and your animal instinct. That could definitely be a gamble. Can you imagine that on a tightrope? Is that what's going on here? I wouldn't want to be blindfolded through that balance personally. And I know that I, as a Cancer rising, will be applying my high mind to take appropriate actions to eliminate what might be obfuscating my path in some kind of way. Because the call is to balance the power within. Right? You are no fool, Cancer. You got a killer instinct in you. Killer instinct. Right? Your spirit animal, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you connect to the lion. Maybe you don't. Maybe you got some Leo you're dealing with. Could be a Leo. Could be something polarizing that you're trying to figure out in your mind. Maybe somebody's showing up with two faces. Maybe someone's in your world and they're not really giving you a good idea who they are because it changes. You want to get to some truth with them so that you can take the appropriate steps in your life to get to where you're going in this juggling balancing act. But you don't want to have a divided mind here. All of those things that perhaps seem to be at opposition within you, you know, those things that happen at the same or similar times that might be kind of like an internal tug of war pulling in opposite directions, you know, that stuff that you have to kind of balance. You know, are you going to rip somebody's face off? Are you going to be, you know, calm and collected and wise with how you wield your power? Maybe. I think you can. I think you want to get to some truth too. Because there's something that has not returned the way that perhaps you intended or wanted. Maybe you released your faith for something and, you know, you're ready to take a shot. It might be a gamble. It may or may not get you what you want. Or it's possible that this is what's coming your way and that, you know, someone or something needs or wants desperately with a lot of power and urge inside of them to come and approach you in perhaps a romantic sense. With the Romance Angel Oracle deck for Enduring Virtue, we pulled for you the Unrequited Love card. Alan states there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So, I don't know. Maybe you can see that picture through the glare. I hope you can. I don't like that glare either. But there's some characters here and some onlookers. You know, we'll call them primary and secondary characters, and somebody's got a sword here. That might be whatever this going in after some truth in the physical world energy is demonstrating here through this individual that I will call a he. Now, he's leaning in. He's going for it. He's got his sword of truth. He wants to kiss her hand. She's kind of like, And there's people watching, right? So, I don't know what's going on there, Cancer. But something doesn't look like it might be coming back the way you want it to, or maybe this is how somebody else feels about what you've put out there for them. Maybe you gotta kick some tough truth to yourself and others. You're figuring out the best way to do it so that it's not too abrasive. Maybe you don't want to break somebody's heart, yours or someone else's, So keep an eye on that. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into your prayer here. I feel like, Archangel Michael is giving you some pretty strong advice to stay on the sunny side of this as much as you can, especially if you're going in with anything sharp or cutting, truth-wise, that might hurt somebody else. Especially if somebody's been hiding behind a mask or playing two-faced games, and and it's time to uncover some truth that might break someone's heart. And somebody else got this card. It was, I think it was Taurus. You might want to check that one out. Maybe you're dealing with a Taurus. But anyway, Gemini and Taurus are pretty much side by side, so there might be some overlap in energy, that happens a lot with my readings. So I'm going to tell you what Archangel Michael says here. Again, positive thoughts create positive results. And I'll tell you like I told Taurus. It looks like, hey, let's clear our chakras today, right? I think it's a great idea. Balance within, balance without, right? And you're balancing. Don't be unbalanced within yourself, especially if you're, on a slippery slope, or, taking a pretty specific kind of tango here on a tightrope. You want to be balanced. So I would just recommend, if you don't know how to clear your chakras, just Google it, or pop it in the YouTube search. There are so many cool videos you can watch, and even binaural audios, even if you don't want to look at it, that will harmonize your chakra system to different frequencies that bring it into balance. So that when you are doing your balancing tightrope act, unblindfolded, please, for your own sake, you're doing it from a balanced place. You're not getting pulled too far in one direction or another and maybe falling, right? It makes sense. So we're going to say a prayer on that right now for you. This is for you, Cancer. Divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. I know that my mind and emotions are eternally and continuously connected to you. I ask my higher self to be aware and conscious of the love and light that is within every person and situation. Amen. All right, Cancer, that's what I got for you this second half of the month here. It came up quick, huh? This year's evaporating. Look, I hope it's great for you, and I think you got this. Wield your power with diplomacy, poise, balance yourself. You're going to be great. And look, if you have a prayer request or have somebody that you would like me to pray for, feel free to hit me up. My email is down there. I'm not doing personal readings right now, but a lot of other great readers here are. Check out your sun, moon, and rising. Hopefully you liked this one. If you did, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Or share and subscribe. And anyway, God bless you, God protect you, and I'll see you again in June. Bye.